One joke every day for a year, day 47. I like the idea that people who are like, I'm 2% Jewish, didn't actually do a DNA test. They just knew it in their heart because they can't process dairy or whatever. It's 2 days in a row where I've written a Jewish joke, which is on brand. The hour that I just did is like a very Jewish hour. And then I had this fear of like, what if I find my audience, like my Jewish audience, and then I just run out of things to talk about as far as Jewish stuff. And so I'm glad that I'm still writing stuff about it. I actually wrote this joke on stage, which is not usually my thing. I asked the crowd tonight, like, is anybody here Jewish? And this one woman raised her hand, and then I was like, oh, you're Jewish? And she was like, no. It's like, okay. And then she said, I'm 2% Jewish. I asked, like, oh, did you take one of those tests? But of course the answer is yes, she took one of those tests. Like, and then I realized, like, yeah, obviously she did. And so I said, like, what if she didn't though? Like, what if she didn't take a test and she just like knew in her heart? And it, you know, it did well in the room. So I don't know if it'll translate out of that room. I'm not usually somebody who writes on stage, but I think because I don't have so much material right now to rely on, I'm not married to it. And so I'm being much more open and a little bit like, let's just see what comes on stage. Whereas normally my default is like, no, I know what I want to say. So that's kind of cool to see that it's going that way. I did do the Eric Adams stuff, so that's a little extra time, but I have now, I would say, 8 minutes of solid new stuff. Now it's just like trying to figure out how to learn it. Like I have to learn the material. That's a big part of like when you watch comedy, part of the reason you're laughing is because you feel comfortable laughing. And part of why you feel comfortable laughing is because the comedian is so comfortable telling the material. So I have to learn how to be comfortable with this material, and that means I have to learn it. Bobby, what? You try to come in? Say hi. Bobby. Okay. All right, I'll finish this and then pay attention to her. See you tomorrow.